Welcome to this weekly forecast. My name is Adina. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and this is the forecast that I put out every week going over the astrological energy. And this week is from March 20th to the 26th. And we have we have more energy really shifting, just like we did last week, where this week we have the new moon, we have the sun entering Aries, we have Mercury in Aries now, we also have Pluto shifting into Aquarius, and we have Mars shifting into Cancer. So we have a lot of energetic changes again this week. Just to do a quick little recap of last week, we dealt with that kind of hard energy with that square from Mars to Neptune, the Sun, and Mercury, which could have caused a lot of confusion. It could have created some impulsiveness and, maybe feeling lost or a little disconnected. So, that is now going to shift a little, that we have Mars moving into Cancer at the end of this week. However, starting off the week, we have Mercury in Aries. So this is a huge energetic shift because we have had Mercury in Pisces. Pisces and Aries is quite a different energy, and Mercury being the planet that rules our mind and communication. Mercury in Pisces tends to create it can be a little bit of a challenging energy, right? Because Pisces tends to dissolve boundaries. It's confusing. It's illusionary. It's great for spirituality and creativity. But when it comes to really setting your mind to something and doing something, it tends to be a little bit difficult. So now that we have the planet of our mind and communication moving into the sign of Aries, which is all about action. Aries is ruled by Mars. So this is great energy for initiating, right? Taking that initiation into something, if there's something you wanted to get going or wanted to get started, now you may finally feel that drive and motivation to do so. Now, this is also an energy where we do want to be a little bit mindful because it is Aries. Aries can be a little bit impulsive. So we do want to make sure we're slowing down and making sure that we are seeing everything before we are taking action. However, as long as we're doing so, this energy can be super great for taking action and really getting those things started and going that we've kind of been waiting on doing for some reason. Even if it's been kind of subconsciously, we've been sitting there, it's like we know we have stuff to do, but we just haven't felt that urge or that push to do it. Now we're finally going to get that oomph. We're going to get that push to start, whatever ventures we're on next. So that is a great energy. And then we have the sun entering Aries on Monday, so March 20th. So this is also great, right? This is starting a brand new zodiacal new year. So I said in my last week's forecast how I always like to do a little bit of a cleanse before we start a new year. Now, of course, you do what is right for you and feels right for you, but this is a brand new zodiacal new year. So this is a great time. And the interesting thing about this is that the new moon in Aries is on the 21st, so the day after. So right as soon as we're starting this brand new zodiacal new year, we really have that new moon. So it's a great time to set intentions, not only for the month or for the Aries cycle, so the new moon. Just to clarify that, so how I always work with the moons, and I usually post on my videos how I work with the moons, is that on the new moon of the sign, so for example, the new moon in Aries, you tend to see your manifestation at the full moon in Aries, which is about 6 months later. So when you plant your seeds and intentions, you can do so for that monthly cycle, but sometimes you find that you truly see your manifestations manifest and come to fruition at the full moon of that same sign. So not only can this be a time of planting those seeds and intentions for that cycle of the sign, the new moon, full moon, but for the year. So how we set New Year's resolutions. Is there something you truly want to accomplish in this next zodiacal new year? This is something to think about and set intentions for. Now, another thing I want to note about this new moon in Aries is that this is not the only new moon that we are going to have in Aries, which is unique. We are also going to have a new moon in Aries, April. What did I put? Sorry, hold on. Where did I put my April 19th? I'm sorry. April 19th, we will have a new moon in Aries at 29 degrees, which is going to be a solar eclipse. So it's going to be a new moon solar eclipse. So this is also really unique and interesting. I will talk a lot about that. Also, this solar eclipse we have in April in Aries is going to kind of be setting the tone for the new nodal cycle. The nodes will be shifting signs in July, and this is a whole new energy. And for those who are not aware of what the nodes are, there is the north node and the south nodes, and these are very karmic, fated energies, and they are associated with the eclipse energy. So when we have an eclipse, it will either be with the north node or the south node, and they're very fated, so they tend to shift our life direction in some way. And so if you know where the nodes are in your chart, you definitely are able to see how this shows up for you individually and what area of life will be kind of making a little bit of a shift in that energy. But this is crazy because this really sets the tone for the new nodal cycle. Right now, the nodes are in Taurus and Scorpio. So the nodes will shift to Aries and Libra in July. So this is another big deal, and I really just wanted to note that. And of course, I will talk about that later on. But with the new moon being in Aries, and not only being the only new moon in Aries, which is super unique. So yeah, that's just really interesting. And then we are going, this is huge. This is really big. Pluto entering Aquarius. And Pluto is going to enter Aquarius March 23rd until June 11th. And then we'll station retrograde on May 1st. We'll station retrograde May 1st and then re-enter. We'll leave Aquarius June 11th. Sorry, that was a little bit confusing. So we want to pay attention to what shows up between March and June, because this will give us an idea of what the Pluto and Aquarius energy will be for us individually. So this is an energy we really want to pay attention to collectively and individually in our own personal lives. So if you know where you have Aquarius in your chart, it always helps to know and understand the areas of life where you will be experiencing these shifts and changes. But we definitely want to be mindful and keep an eye out and be aware of, what is going to come up in those areas of life between that time, because that is going to give you an idea of what this Pluto and Aquarius energy has in store. Once Pluto moves into Aquarius for good in 2024, Pluto will stay in Aquarius for 20 years. So it's quite a long transit. So this kind of allows us to see, anything that comes up between this time is going to give us an idea of how this energy is going to show up for us individually. And then on March 25th, on Saturday, we are going to have Mars enter Cancer. Now, this is a huge energetic shift because we have had Mars in Gemini since last summer. And then we had Mars station retrograde, in Gemini And then now, like, Mars has been in Gemini for so long. I feel like I've been talking about Mars and Gemini forever. But this is going to be a huge energetic shift because Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, also rules our communication and our mind. So we've had this little bit of Mars influence kind of over our mind and how we're communicating and all of that stuff, kind of influencing these mercurial themes and topics. So this is definitely going to be quite a shift. And into Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is also one of the most nurturing signs of the zodiac. I always say it's like the mother sign of the zodiac. And we have Mars, the one that's ruled by Mars, which is all about action and initiation, going into Cancer. So this can be quite a different energy. Sometimes we can also get a little bit of passive aggressiveness with this energy, but it's definitely going to be an energetic shift. So you want to know where you have Cancer in your personal birth chart, because this is going to allow you to know and understand where Mars will be transiting and influencing what area of life. So I am going to click a link in the description below, and if you don't have a personal birth chart and you want one and you've never had a reading to kind of know, where your planets are, your houses, your signs, all of that, I have kind of a basic reading I'm doing right now, super cheap. You can click the link down below, and then I also have a solar return reading as well down there. So I will put everything in the description below. Make sure you check that out, and yes, and that way it helps you understand where all of this is taking place. And then finally, on Sunday, on the 26th, we have Mercury making a conjunction to Chiron. We've had this kind of saga go on with Chiron, with Venus, Jupiter, and now we will have Mercury. So this can bring in ideas or intuitive downloads having to do with your healing journey, right? Because Chiron is all about healing. And with this happening in Aries, which represents the self, I really feel like this entire Chiron saga has been about our own personal healing journey, where, Jupiter's brought wisdom, Venus has brought more self-love, self-worth, energy, and then now we have Mercury bringing in those intuitive downloads or ideas, or wanting to communicate something about our healing journey, something like that. So we definitely have a lot of energetic shifts this week. And if you have any questions about any of these shifts, you can put your questions in the comments below. I would love to answer them. And I really, truly hope you all have a fantastic week. And I hope this helped guide you into and prepare you for some of the energy that we have going on this week. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.